Good morning, team. We are back with another episode of Cajun Tiger Plays. I'm Cajun Tiger, and this is a Let's Play series. We are playing Dyson Sphere Program, and we are going to jump right into it today. We're going to grab a few of these plasma exciters just to get us going. We're going to grab all of these processors, and we're going to come back over here and grab copper, magnetic coils, and iron. I said that backwards, I know. I apologize. All right, we're going to come this way. We'll talk about this in just a minute. First, we want to get some things started building. So we are going to build two of these logistics distributors. We haven't done these before. We'll hear from our advisor when we put them out. But they use these logistic bots to transfer things around, including transferring things to us. We're not going to use them to transfer things to us. We are going to use them to transfer things between different stations. So this is our original copper mine that we set up at the very beginning of the game, and our copper is all depleted, so it's all gone. So we did set up an extra array over here, so we've got plenty of copper coming in. That's good. We are going to drop some foundations here. Oh, and you know what else we need to do? I apologize if you saw this previously. Delete some of this stuff so that it can be clearing out for us. Apparently, I missed putting a belt on that miner. So we've been running all of this time with just one belt, one half a belt of iron for we were making our belts over here, our Mark 1 belts, and yeah, we are not making enough stuff. So we'll bring more iron in. That should help things work out over there. All right, we're going to build a assembler here so that we can make circuits for our refineries. So this is circuits here. We need copper and iron, and we need steel. Whoops. We need steel for our refineries, but we need to get rid of this glass first. Put an assembler right there. I'm going to sneak the glass by this way, and then we're going to put a depot here and a depot here. Bring our iron in this side, and we're going to make refineries in here. If I can find refineries, go to the right page. There we go. All right, refineries need circuits, which we have right there. They need stone, which we have right here. They need iron, which we have right there. And they need plasma exciters, which we'll get from this depot. We're going to drop a output line there and a Tesla tower so that we have power over here. Now, with all of that done, we want to limit the number of refineries we make down to 2, and we want to limit the number of plasma exciters that we make down to 1 stack. So we could easily just manually move plasma exciters. That's what we were doing with our belts, but we're not going to do that. That's why we built these logistics distributors. So we're going to put one here.
You've built your first logistics distributor. You can now deliver items to the inventory. Set the items you need in the logistics list to the left of the inventory, and the logistics bots will transport the items from the depot to Icarus. If you build multiple logistics distributors, they can deliver items between each other as well. Each distributor has a delivery range. If a task is out of range, it will not be executed.
Okay, so we put 10 of the bots in here, and we click this button over here to the side. We turned it off so it's not going to distribute to us. We can set things up here, and we may do that later, but for now we're not going to worry about it. But we can change this to request from other distributors as opposed to sending to other distributors, providing. So what we'll do now is come over here where we're actually putting our plasma exciters, and we'll put our other distributor on top of here. And click on him. We'll add the bots in there. We don't want him going to Icarus. This one's going to provide items, and it's going to provide plasma exciters. And immediately we see bots jumping into action, starting to move things around. You can see them traveling back and forth, and they are adding plasma exciters into that depot so that we can pull them in here and we'll make our refineries. We're not getting steel because we're using it all right now to make our chemical plants. We'll top that off with the chemical plants we have in inventory, and it'll take a little bit for, let's see, we can put some circuits in there that ought to help this particular build fill up with circuits soon. We are still doing our belts over here, and we probably could eventually put the fidget spinner bots on there and do that as well. But for now, that's good enough. We're going to come down here and start working on the next item for our purple science, our information matrix, which we need broadband, and the next item we need is our titanium crystals. We did not put titanium or not titanium, silicon crystals. We did not put silicon ore in our logistics network. So we were making high purity silicon on the other planet. So since this is a 2-second recipe, we're going to use the 2.1 version of our blueprints. And before we do that, we're going to come in here and put power poles, Tesla towers, all the way up to the fault line, because eventually we're going to build at this 5x5 grid up here to make some things. But for now, we need to put foundations down. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's going to be our center line. Build on either side of our center line. And come down here, we can grab our 2-to-1 smelting and put it right on top of our mech because he's on the center line. And it's going to ask us to do the foundation thing with space and enter. But we just wanted to get our drone started working because we'll manually put foundations in this area. Being a little extravagant with our foundations, even though our soil pile is starting to get low. It's under 200, so. But we can afford this. We'll be getting more soil pile back later on today or in our next episode as we work our way towards information matrix. All right. Get our 12 there so we know how far to put our belts out. Let's get our upgrade planner. Take our belts out here while we're doing all these belts and getting all this set up. I will do our shout out for today. Excuse me. I'm fighting a late summer cold or allergies or something, so I apologize for that. Our shout out for today is leaving a little bit behind the more serious topics of gaming philosophy and things like that. We're going to go a little silly today, and I'm going to shout out for bacon. Yep, good old bacon. Love me some bacon. I am currently on a diet. I have lost about 20 pounds. I have a long way to go trying to stay healthy. I'm a big old dude, and I got lots of room to lose weight. So I have been doing well on my diet, and I have not had bacon in a while, so I treated myself today to a little bit of bacon, and it was delicious, let me tell you. So, shout out today for bacon. All right, we are making our crystal silicon, and the last thing we need to make broadband is plastic. So in order to make plastic, unfortunately, we need a lot of refineries. So we're going to wait here for just a second and watch the silicon come in, the high purity silicon come in, and make sure everything's flowing as it should here. And then once we see that crystal silicon getting made, should see it real soon. There we go. Getting made very quickly, filling up belts all the way. You can see we're still doing well with our power sufficiency, and we are going to help that out a little bit going forward because we are going to be making more hydrogen today. Remember, we had this big array over here of power that was being made for using hydrogen to make power over here, and we haven't been getting a lot of hydrogen, but we'll be making more today. All right, we have 5 refineries. We're going to need way more refineries than that, but we're going to let this run, and we'll head up to the pole to our build area up here and start building what we want to do, and we can talk through our build plan and then come back and get more later. All right, so we've got this 5x5, 5 of the 5x5 sections. We don't want to build on the further north one because it is too close to the coal veins over there. So we're going to build on the further south of the 5x5 5x5 sections. That's a mouthful. All right, we build this here, and we can put our planetary logistics station out. We are going to be on the north side again because we are in the 5x5 section, and we need it to be on the north side. We want to have a belt of crude oil coming out, so that's going to be our item number 1. Then right next to that, we are going to have an output belt that's going to have refined oil. Well, the middle belt is going to be for hydrogen, and then the outer belt is going to be for refined oil. And then this will be our crude oil again, hydrogen here, and refined oil there. All right, let's drop a refinery or 2 so that we can get things working. We're going to build again on our line. One side of the refinery allows you to put the sorters, so you want to make sure you're building with that one toward the belts that we did. All right, let's pick a recipe here first so that we know what our output is, and we're going to be using our main recipe to get refined oil and hydrogen out. So we will take hydrogen, like I said, to the middle, and refined oil to the closest belt. We are going to eventually, at the end of all of this, we'll be bringing back what is it called? The graphene, energetic graphene. Then we'll be bringing back hydrogen here, and we'll be bringing back refined oil in this last one. But we will not be bringing that back for a while. We have to build, we can look at our recipe to see we are using a full belt of crude oil. So we want to process all of it. So a full belt of crude oil, that's 2 crude oil every 4 seconds. And our refineries operate at a speed of 1. So we use our formula. 2 crude oil times a speed of 1 is 2 crude oil per process divided by 4 seconds means that we're using half a crude oil per second. And then we have 12 on a full belt. So if we divide 12 by 0.5, we get 24. So we need 24 refineries. Yes, 24 refineries. That means we need a lot more foundation out this way. So we are going to actually take foundations all the way to the next prime meridian. Carefully put it, oops, well, I said carefully and then I wasn't careful about it, so put it all the way down on this side as well, and then fill in the middle. All right, now we can start taking our belts out so that the drones can work on belts for us. We're going to take them that far. I don't know if that's far enough. I've done this a couple times in preparation for today, but I don't know if this is exactly where it needs to go or if this is too far or too short. But we'll drop these belts first, and then we're going to go check on our refineries, and we might have to make some by hand just so that we have enough. Go ahead and drag these belts out as well. And we're going to take, oops, we don't need that there. We want this belt here to go back in with energetic graphene on this line, with hydrogen on that line, and refined oil on this line. Take that one into the far side, this one in the middle, and this one in the closest. And there we go. Now, we can also, while we're here, drop a few Tesla towers to get started. We are the way that the circles for the Tesla towers overlaps. If we just build every 10th cross, every 10th intersection, we will not have enough Tesla towers. We will not be completely covered with our power. What am I trying to say? We won't have power to all of the refineries that we need. So we're going to need to do a few Tesla towers at a distance of 5. So we'll see once we get more of these refineries. There we go. Now we have a bunch of refineries. That's what we were looking for. Slow down, let our drones hop on board, and we'll come back here and finish our build out. We'll start with this one, and we can go for, we'll go 13, and then we'll need 12 more, so, well, we need 11 more, but if we start on one there, then we can come out for 12 more, and that gets us just far enough. The drones put some belts down, and a little bit more, one more, there we go. There we go. Now we have what we need. All right, now with that all done, we can delete a little bit of these belts because we don't need them to go that far out. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to build more refineries. So let's look at our recipes again. This recipe is outputting one hydrogen. Let's do it this way. This recipe is outputting a full belt. We're using a full belt of crude oil. We're outputting a full belt of refined oil and half a belt of hydrogen. So this recipe, we want to use a full belt of hydrogen because we're going to join the north and the south arrays from this recipe, which is 2 half belts, so that equals a whole belt. So if we have a whole belt of hydrogen that we want to use, hydrogen we use 2 per recipe and a speed of 1, so that's 2 per recipe officially. Divided by 4 seconds per recipe means we're using half per recipe. We have 12 on a full belt, and 12 divided by half, 12 divided by 0.5 is 24 again, but this time we'll be pulling on both sides, so we only need 12 on the north and 12 on the south. So we'll have 12 refineries on each side. We're going to join our 2 hydrogen belts this way, and then we're going to bring our, oh, that's not hydrogen, that's the crude oil. Hydrogen is here. I agree with, if you've watched any other videos, then you will know, Nilhouse has said several times, I've seen in his videos at least once or twice, that he doesn't like the aesthetic of the bump out here when you join 2 even. I agree with him. I don't like it either. But it is a necessary evil for this particular layout, the way we're doing it. And so I will apologize, but we just have to put up with it. All right, that is the output line for our energetic graphite, because the X-ray processing recipe that we'll be using creates energetic graphite and hydrogen. So we need an output for energetic graphite. Let's grab a refinery and put it in place. We're going to leave a space because we also need an output for hydrogen. So we'll put our output for hydrogen right here. Alrighty. So we need 12 of these. So that's 2. Skip 3 intersections and do another one. 3, 4, 5. Let's draw a line there and there. This will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that's our hydrogen. Okay. So in order to do everything we need to do and do the copy, we need to select our recipe. So we're using this X-ray cracking recipe. We have a unique recipe in that we have 2 inputs and 2 outputs. So we will pull the input from our hydrogen first, then from our refined oil, and then output our energetic graphene, and then off to the side here we'll output our hydrogen. All of that done, we can pick that up and copy it. We'll need to tab a couple of times, and we actually want to take our belts out all the way first. So let's take belts all the way out there. Oops, and all the way back in for our energetic graphite. And while our drones do that, we'll get our tabbing done, and we can build 12 of those as soon as the drones are finished with the belts. Right, that takes care of those. Now, we come back to the beginning and finish out the refineries there. We don't have enough refineries to build the full southern side, so we'll go get more refineries in a minute, but let's do our Tesla towers first, and I think this is the one that is going to be exactly what I was trying to explain before. Yep, if we go 10, we miss that refinery, so we can just go 5, and then we'll just keep going 10 until we miss a refinery again, which is going to be here. So we'll go 5, and it looks like we can go for 2, and if we go a third, we miss a refinery again. So we need to go 5 here, and then we can go there, and we can put 1 at the end of the line here. I am going to drag that out 1 more because when we copy everything, it'll probably give us a fit if we do it that way. Alright, then we can put 1 here at the edge of the belt, skip 2 spots, put 1 there, skip 2 spots, put 1 there, skip 2 spots, and put 1 there. That should cover everything. This is our belt of energetic graphene going in. This is our hydrogen, which is, no, this is our refined oil. And we're going to bring that up to here, come out a couple spaces, and then come back in. And the reason for that is because we're going to put a splitter here for the hydrogen. We should not have any hydrogen coming through this far, but just in case we do, we want to split it and go both directions. And we can't go over it because we're too close to the splitter, so that's why we have to spaghetti it a little bit up there. But that's okay. Little spaghetti never hurt anybody. Don't believe anybody who tells you otherwise. Spaghetti is good for the soul. Sometimes. Alright. We'll build our hydrogen on this bottom side. And really all we need now is a lot more refineries. So we're gonna, well, we do need more belts on this side, I guess. There we go. We'll put our belts here for hydrogen. We can put those all the way through. every fourth line, or every fourth intersection, I should say. And we will need to put Tesla towers on this side as well, because the Tesla towers from the other side don't reach far enough to power everything down here. So we'll put Tesla towers in the same locations. Skip 2 and put one here. Skip 2, put one here. Skip 2 and put one here. That should cover everything. Let's go see if we can get more of our... We need a total of 36, probably 34 refineries. How many do we have? Oh, we have plenty. That's a good number. Did we have more refineries? No, we didn't. Okay. I thought maybe I was counting wrong somewhere, and we did actually have refineries, but we don't. All right, so let's pick our recipe on the south side here, and we'll do our sorters. We're about to run out of sorters. We're going to have to go back and get more. We'll do our sorters the same way, with the crude oil going in. Then we'll put hydrogen in the middle and refined oil. Oops, I didn't pick refined oil. That would be a problem. Refined oil on the outside. I don't think we're going to be able to build all 24 of these, but we'll build as many as we can. Oh, there we go. Lacking items after 10. All right, let's go get some more. We'll go get some more sorters, get this finished, and that will probably be all we have time for today. We will talk a little bit about what's next in our build. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a stack of assemblers while we're here. We'll probably need to come back and get more sorters before it's all said and done, because we're putting a lot of stuff in a lot of places. All right, that was 10, so 11, 12. We just know we need to go all the way over here. That's all of our our refineries for the south side. And we can always come into our blueprint, do this, grab the whole thing and click on it, and it'll tell us we do have 48 refineries. And we just escape out because we don't really want a blueprint there. Then we can come over here and do some more sorters. Sorters. We'll go the opposite direction this time. Hydrogen from the middle, refined oil, and then an output of energetic graphene. And then on this side over here, an output of hydrogen. Let's pick our recipe. We want the X-ray cracking recipe. And we will build all of these with a couple of tabs, 3 tabs it looks like. And that will build all of those. Let the drones do their thing. Help them out a little bit with some of these buildings. It looks like we're gonna need one more Tesla tower. We'll put it right here at the end. That takes care of that. Right, and we should be able to come back all the way over here and tell this that we want to get, we're going to put 30 drones in because we've got lots of stuff going on here, but we want to get oil. We want to get crude oil coming in. Then we're going to have energetic graphite, we're going to have refined oil, and we're going to have hydrogen going out. And we can already see things are starting to work. With the crude oil coming in, being processed by these, sending that hydrogen and that refined oil down here. These will kick in as soon as it gets there. See that start working? We won't see refined oil for a bit. We'll start seeing the energetic graphite and the hydrogen coming out. And we can see it as it comes in here. Oh, look at all the drones coming right at us. That's creepy, weird. Looked like we were going to get hit. All right, there we see the graphite coming in, we see the hydrogen coming in. That hydrogen is going to get stolen almost immediately to go to a for hydrogen fuel rods. There we go. Now we have refined oil coming in as well. So that's going to be all we can do for that build. We're going to come over here and we'll get started for our next build, but we're not going to actually complete that build. Let's put some foundations down. We're going to start right here. Again, because we did multiple things on that build, we won't be using 30, the high-speed belts, the 30 per second belts. Again, up at this close to the pole, it gets a little awkward and weird if you do that, just because you have to go all the way around the pole, and it's kind of weird. So it's hard enough doing just one of these hemispheres or quadrants, if you will. We're going to go all the way to our next prime meridian again, and we're going to come all the way back. Like I said, we're getting more soil pile here. Cover all of this up with foundation, and we're going to use this area to use chemical plants and make our plastic. And it's going to be a similar build to what we did with the carbon nanotubes. So we're going to start again closer to the pole than the equator, and we'll build all of this array on our next episode. We are out of time for today, so let's see, we should have a few chemical plants that we can get started with, but we're going to do that in our next episode, and we'll build our power plant, or we'll build our chemical plants here to do our plastic, and then we'll come down here. Like I said, we brought this power line up. We're going to use this section up here, these north 5 by 5 grids, and we'll pave over that, and we'll use that to make our broadband. So we'll get that done in our next episode, and we will finally have purple science. Last thing we're going to do. We cannot do a whole lot much else here, but we can add a few things on this page. Most everything else that we can do on this page requires purple science or green science, so we're not there yet. But we can come back over here, and since we started using our distribution bots, we can just add these in. It's not going to hurt us, and it gives our bots better range. Can't go that far because we need purple science, and a lot of this other stuff needs purple science, and we did not ever start using vein utilization either, so we're gonna anticipate that we have purple science ready to go because we want to get up to level 5 of this as quickly as we can. Level 5 does require green, but we'll get to 4 at least before we go any further. All right, that's it for today. Remember, players, we're all stories in the end. Just make it a good one, eh? Keep building, team.